Alright, so now that we have created the JUnits, automatically created the JUnits for the service class, how about we launch the automation for our controller? So this is a sample controller in my test class. What I'm going to do is just open it up here and show you the structure of it. So this is my sample controller. Okay, so you will notice it's a very standard controller. It has a get mapping, a URI method in here which specifies the path variable ID, and this particular one this is a service class method that gets called. So it's an external invocation that gets called, and it returns a response entity. You'll also notice that the external class is auto-wired here, and it is also marked as a REST controller. Now let's run the automation against this class and see what output does it generate for us. So for that, we again go back to our directory where we have the app setup, and we will launch the setup. So these initial steps will remain the same, hence I will just quickly run through those, and we will move ahead with the automation. So here it is, these are just instructional, so you have to just move forward. So here it is asking you for the parent top level path of your application. So basically we had already provided it, so I'm going to just take it from earlier. So this is what it is, JUnit automation, where your pom.xml is located. Alright, step number 2, gather information of the Spring Boot. So basically, where is the path where your application class is located? I know that it's located under this. Okay. Third, do you want to auto generate? Yes, I want to auto generate. Okay. So now, which please provide the fully qualified class name that you want to generate these test for. We know that this is controller type 1, so we will go here and pick up the fully qualified path of this class. Okay, and let it run. Okay, so here again it's going to delete and adjust certain directories and files, and initiates the creation of automation environment, detects various specifications that it needs. We'll just let it go through. Okay, this is the same steps that it did in the last invocation. We will just allow it to move forward. Alright, it has gathered all the information that it needs, and now it is moving forward with the JUnit automation steps. The application is built, so it's in good status. Alright, so now it's going to ask you some very basic questions in order for it to put in the right generation logic in place. So is your target class of type REST controller? Yes, we've already seen that this is a controller, it's a REST controller. We say yes to it and move forward. Okay, now it has detected that you have a get mapping in your class, and it also has certain path variables in there. It needs to know what values to be supplied to this path variables. So for that, it is asking you please provide the valid input value for ID. ID is a path value. For now, we will just give it a legal value of 1 because it looks for an integer. Loan ID is again an integer, so we'll just say 2. You see this ID and loan ID is integer we are not really using the loan ID in this processing, but still, since it's part of the URI, that's why it is asking. All right, fine. So we provided what it wants, and then we move forward. All right, so here basically it has detected that there is in this particular method in your controller there is a parameterized type, essentially something like this, and it wants to know, please provide what is the parameterized type inside the response entity. So if you go here, it just needs to know what is the type inside this. Yep, right here, and that parameterized type is customer, and customer is actually, you just have to provide it the full path of the class that is parameterized, and we will give it this. This is what it is, and move forward. Okay, there's still another question that it has for you. Again, in this particular method that we are trying to invoke, the stub has a return type of optional and parameterized. What is the parameterized type inside this optional? So let's check where this optional is come from. There is an optional inside this method. Okay, so basically it is talking about this one, customer service IMPR type 1. Okay, basically we have to search for this. Yeah, so here this one has a return type of optional. If you see optional, and it wants to know what is this parameterized type inside it, and it is customer. Again, it's the same type that we had provided earlier, so we will give it the same. Okay, and with just these very basic inputs that it got from you, it has generated the JUnit, and you can move forward to the next step now. So we can exit this child console and go back to our parent console, which is located here, and we will go to the next step. Core processing will launch a new window. Once it completes, press the any key to continue. So here, once we move to the next step, it tells us that please review your auto-generated JUnits as saved at below location. Review, adjust, and correct. So let's see what got actually generated in this location. If you see this, these are my controller. These are the classes that got actually created. These two just got created. This is the controller test, and this is the corresponding DTO that also got created. So let's open up these classes and see what actually did it create for us. For that, we will just do a refresh and then search for our class. Yes, this is the class that got generated. Now if you see, this is the controller class that got generated. This is the method that it has created, create customer by ID with content. Now if you see, the method here that we were trying to create the JUnit for is this, get customer by ID with content, and it has created a corresponding test method. It needs to make an invocation. So basically it's a get mapping. So let's see what did it do for that invocation. See this, it used a mock MVC perform, and this was the URL. Whatever we supplied to it, that's what it has created that URL with. The result of this is put into result action. All right, and then what is the stubbing that? So if you see, this is the external method call, and this method call needs to be stubbed. This service method call needs to be stubbed, and that's exactly what it has done here. When customer service IMPL type.get OPT customer by ID is invoked, then you return it with this particular object, and this is a DTO that it created, a very basic DTO that it created for you, so that you don't have to created. Now there are times when this may not be absolutely perfectly suitable for your functional case. In that case, you feel free to go ahead and add your own methods here. Maybe you need instead of get OPT customer, you probably need say a list of customer or a map of customer. You can go ahead and create it, and then you can provide it here if that is your requirement. But here it basically creates the very basic DTO that you most likely would need, and don't have to do it manually. And here is the verification. So what we verify is once we invoke this particular get mapping endpoint, we are expecting a customer to be returned, and now we have to verify whether the customer is what we expect, is the return that we expect. So what it is doing here is it's saying verify when customer service IMPL type, when the customer service is actually called once. Sorry, the method inside customer service IMPL, that the method is get OPT customer by ID is called once and only once. And it also checks the output. You see, when the customer service IMPL is called, it returns a get OPT customer, and this get OPT customer returns an object with these values. So what verification it does is there a customer number entity, is there a customer number field inside this output? And from here we do see that there is a customer number field that gets set inside our output. So it should resolve to true, and the test should pass. Now, okay, the other things that you will notice here is again, it has made a determination of what the mock beans that you might need, and hence it has put it up there. It has also deduced multiple other things as you see here, and reduced and created this JUnit for you. Now let's try to run it. Now again, you can either run it from Eclipse, or you can come back here to the console and run it from here. Launch auto generated JUnits. Yes, so this is the one that we just now created, controller type 1 test, and it is launching that. Let's see what is the result of this. Remember the earlier Jacopo report that we checked, it had 0% coverage for this controller class. Okay, the test is run and it is a pass. So that means the JUnit that was generated is a legal working one, and now it is generating, it is giving us the Jacopo report. So you see, this was our last report, and we had 9%. If you remember, it was 9% here for the service, and now it is 10%. That means it is definitely gone high. Let's go to the specific controller and see, which was 0% earlier. This was the one that we just ran, and it is 100% coverage. That is awesome. Without writing a single line of code, our automation has generated the JUnit which covers which gives us 100% coverage. See this? This is clearly saying that it is covered. All right.